right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. The discussion starts right now. Every Friday, we give young panelists a chance to give us their views on how matters governance, matters politics, and everything in between there, of how they think the country is being run. Is it the right direction, the wrong direction? They're already here with me. I'd like to hear from you as well at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Citizen Daybreak. We'll sample some of your views during this broadcast. Let me start by introducing my guest from the upper deck, Otieno Mokaya. He's a lawyer. Thank you so much for making time. We have Jasper Bravo, a political consultant. Thank you very much for making time. We have Derek Troy Rusana, University of Nairobi president. Thank you very much for making time. And then we also have Marion Kimberly, a youth advocate. Thank you very much for making time. Okech Solomon Aira, a youth advocate as well. Thank you very much for making time. And Lena Marty, a lawyer and the founder of the Round Table magazine. Thank you very much for making time. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritties, I'll start with you, Mokaya. Where is the country heading? Is it heading in the right direction or the wrong direction from your perspective?
Whether you want to say whether a country goes in the right direction or not, you need to have a rubric with which you want to refer where the country is going. And that could be many things. The Vision 2030 is one. The manifesto with which the current government was elected is another. The third is the Azimio la Umoja manifesto. Depending on your marking scheme, how right your answer is depends on the quality of the question you ask. Are there things that are going on well in this country? Yes, there are. Are there things that have been missed in this country? Yes, there are. And why do we have to measure between what the government is doing right and what the government is doing wrong? It's because there can't be a yes without the possibility of a no. And also without trying, you can't, if you're getting everything right, it means either you are repeating what you're used to or you are doing nothing. By there being positives in what the government is doing, it means they are trying. By there being negatives in what the government is doing, it means they are doing something. And by doing so, by the attempt of doing it, they are missing the mark, which is normal and which is expected. The problem could be that there is a new call that everything should be faced with a no. There is a new call that how chaotic you look means you are revolutionary. We need as young people to shift our mindset from that kind of thinking and try to look at everything objectively. Let's say, for example, is the new model of financing of students a good thing? Maybe the way it was thought out was a good thing. The implementation failed, and that's why we are in the old way of doing things. Was SHA a good thing? There's nothing wrong about a medical insurance, but can we maybe prep it better? Did we have to do trials before implementing it? Maybe that's something we could have done. Is the economic doing of the country doing okay? That depends on which side you sit. If your business is booming, you won't think somebody is going hungry. If you're going hungry today, you'll think everybody is. So again, these are personal realities. So whether the country is going in the right direction, again, is a factor or a function of from whose lens you are looking at.
Yeah, we've seen this measured even in the polls, but as a young person yourself, what is most important to you and has it been addressed?
Most important to me, I want to first complain about what I see is wrong. By what I see is wrong is the hopelessness or how bleak the future looks for most of us. It's easy to pick your side and say, I got a job, I got a career, and I think everybody should be flowing with me. How many of us are lacking jobs? How many of us are seeing darkness in front of them? Then that speaks to how I'm looking at things. But I like also to identify that I could, as a Kenyan youth, I could be more hopeful than my comparables. If I can sit on TV here and say what's wrong with Kenya today, how much of dancing space that our youth in Tanzania have? How much dancing space that our youth in Rwanda have? Yeah? How much dancing space that our youth, somebody of the same age, same kind of sophistication and same kind of access have in Uganda, Sudan? I know those are not countries we want to compare ourselves with. Can we talk of South Africa? How much of dancing space that are youth of the same caliber, same kind of education and sophistication have? Then with that as a rubric, you can definitely say whether we are going in the right direction. The right direction does not mean heaven, milk and honey. It means, are you able to carry with you the problems that you have with the hope that tomorrow presents a better option for you?
Okay.
And I think that is that is possible in this country.
Yeah. So I've noticed, just as a lawyer, you've not given us a yes or no answer. That was expected from a legal perspective. Let's hear what Len has to say about this. Len, is the country heading in the right direction or the wrong direction? This question, there's always a measure of it all. The number of people say yes and others say no, for their own reasons.
Thank you, Trevor, but I don't know why you're trying to box me. You know, I just want to
Let's hear what the lawyers think.
Anyway, when this government came into power in 2022, they had what they say that they would do in the first 100 days with regards to the economy. And we were very expectant, you know, because they had a very promising manifesto. There was hope in the minds of Kenyans. But now 100 days passed, and there was nothing substantive that we could hear. In fact, what we were hearing was that, you know, we found the economy in a dilapidated state, and therefore it is not easy for us to revive it in 100 days. And we say it, fair enough. Probably that's a good point, owing to the fact that even that people say that Rome was not built in a day. And so we say, let us give them one more year. In that one more year, the problem with unemployment persisted. We were not seeing anything that was being done to address the same. The challenge with healthcare system persisted. We were not seeing anything that was being done to address the same. And, you know, we hoped that probably things will get better. Then came last year, and last year people voiced out their concerns, right from the young people to the old people, civil servants, people across all the categories. But right now, I can confidently say that as a young person, I don't feel like there's much that is being done to address the challenges that we are going through. Because as we speak right now, for the last 50 days or so, the lecturers have been on strike. Students have been unable to get their education services.
That has now been resolved.
It has been resolved, yes, but why did we have to have it? Why did we have to have a 50-day lag before the same was addressed? I mean, students have lost their time. They have lost their resources, which cannot be compensated. For instance, time cannot be compensated. Then we also have the issue of unemployment. Yes, the government has really been seen to come up with some empowerment programs, with, you know, some programs like also Nyota to address the issue of unemployment and empower the youth. But we can't really substantively say that it has borne something. I remember the empowerment programs that were initiated last year, they lacked a structure. You could not even tell whether the youth were how much money was being given to the young people. You could not tell the structure that was being used to address the same challenge. So for me, I feel we still have a long way to go. I'm hoping that probably in the next 2.5 years, we'll see a difference. But that is really dependent on whether the government is willing to work or not.
Okay. So again, the same question to you. What is most important to you as a young person, and has that been addressed?
The most important thing to me as a young person is unemployment. Unemployment and working institutions. Because for me, if we have working institutions, most of the challenges that we are going through will be addressed. So for instance, if we have the institution like IBC working, we not really have to worry about democratic process being undermined. If we have most of the ministries working, we not really have to worry about things like healthcare system working. So if we are able to have these institutions really working properly, they don't have to worry about most of the things that are facing the common mwananchi. Yes.
Okay. Let me hear what Jasper has to say about this. Jasper, is the country heading in the right direction or the wrong direction?
Oh, okay. Personally, I think generally the country is not heading in the right direction, like from where I stand. And this is because number one, the most important thing to me as a youth is economic empowerment and job opportunities. And since 2022, when this government got into power, to right now, like right now they're just past half-time. If they were playing football, that is, they're already like 2-0 down, like it's getting worse. Because, for instance, you'll notice that around the people around me, personally, I will be having an income, but people around me, most of them, you notice that they're losing jobs each and every day because of either you notice that maybe a company around has been closed because of, we know since 2022 to right now, the tax has just always been risen all the time. And when that happens, you know what that leads to? It might make some of these companies to close down. So that indirectly affects me as a youth, because I might be having a job, but when my fellow doesn't have one, we have to share the little that I'm making, because maybe I have a brother or an elder brother who should be looking after himself and his family, but I have to chip in and help him. So instead of this really working for me, it's really not working for me, but against. That is as far as job opportunities and economic empowerment is concerned. Then number two is as far as the ability for me as a youth to feel like I'm heard. Like, for instance, you notice that when the governance of the country is taking place, most of the time, we know as the youth we might make noise. Like a good example is like when we were going through the demonstrations in 2020. I mean, last year but one. What really happened is that we fought for a bill, a finance bill, which was because it was touching our pockets, which is the most important thing to us as a youth. Then after it was brought down by the government, 2 years down the line, we hear politicians bragging around telling us that the same finance bill that was shot down, they brought it back through the back door. So whether that is true or not, there's a way that speaks to me as a youth. It tells me that my voice is never heard. And when it is seen as to be heard, it's just a pretense to make me feel heard, but it's not really happening. Like, it's like a scenario where you give a kid something with the right hand, then when they look the other direction, you grab it with the other hand, then you act like you don't know wherever the sweet or the cake you gave them disappeared to. So personally, those two most important things to me, feeling that I'm heard, job opportunities, and at least having a hope for tomorrow, which honestly, if you ask me right now, I'm very hopeless, because I could be having an income right now, but trust you me, if I fall sick tomorrow, I'm sure I'm going to be broke, because I know that the health system is down right now. Personally, I used to depend on NHIF before, when I was sick. But right now, we know what's happening with SHA.
Have you tried it?
Yes, I have tried SHA.
And it doesn't
work. The first time, this time I was sick, then I went to the hospital.
Yeah.
And then what I was told was, I hadn't registered for it. I was told that I have to register for SHA first for me to be treated. So I was wondering, this is supposed to be an insurance, right? Am I supposed to be forced with it to start with?
Yes.
Really?
Because then you have to pay first.
No, not really.
You have to first pay, register, so that your details are there. And then...
Okay, Trevor, I went to the hospital. This is a public hospital.
Yeah.
I believe it's supposed to be subsidized in a way by the government. That's why it's a public hospital, right?
For the indigents, yes.
Yes. So I just went there to be treated on a normal sickness, because I knew I hadn't registered for SHA at this moment, you see. So I expected to use the little money I had to get treated. Then maybe later on, because insurance, when you don't have what to eat, insurance is a luxury.
Yeah.
So I could register for it later. But when I went there, I was told, like, I can't be treated until I register and pay for SHA first.
But even when you're under NHIF, you still had to pay first, right? So your bone of contention here is not that you had to pay. What is the main issue here?
When before the NHIF, I could go to the hospital, but it wasn't a requirement. Like, I could just be asked. It was optional. Do you have SHA? I mean, do you have NHIF? No, I don't have. It's okay. You'll be treated like a normal person who doesn't have any other insurance. Okay. But right now, when I come to an hospital, you force me to have an insurance for you to treat me first. Is that really making sense? And if I have cash, there should be that option, that maybe I have a little money in my M-Pesa that I can pay for the little painkillers that I need for my headache. Okay. You can't force me to pay 1,000 shillings first before I get treated for a little sickness. Maybe I've been thinking about SHA, but you don't know why I haven't registered for it. Maybe I don't have the money yet, because I'm needed to pay first before I get the SHA. Yeah. But what is more important when I'm sick right now? Is it an insurance for the future or me getting treated at that moment? Okay.
That's an interesting conversation, because that's how insurance works, but we'll get into that in just a bit. Let me hear what Solomon has to say about this. Solomon, so is the country heading in the right direction or the wrong direction?
Thank you very much, Trevor Ombija. I want to say that I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I ought to just say, you know, it is a young boy who have made it to Citizen TV. I'm very grateful. So,
you're welcome.
Thank you. So the country right now, as a youth advocate and alumni of the University of Nairobi, I want to say that what my brother Mokaya said is it depends on which lens are you looking at it. Because you find a lot of youths right now, they feel they are frustrated. And with my feeling is these many youths are frustrated because most of the youths are on social media. That is where most of the youths are. But when you come back on the ground, where you want to look for jobs, seek for job opportunities, you work so hard so that you may achieve something, most of the youths are not doing that. So we are heading towards the right direction, but depending on which side are you in. Are you the people who just wait to retweet on social media that we are not heading towards? When you see something that it's a little bit off, you take it and explode with it. But something that helps many youths, you don't work with it. So I feel like the country is heading towards the right direction. It's upon the youths to stand up and take the opportunities. Let us yearn to, let us have the zeal so that we may explore into the opportunities that we have. Like many youths want to be politicians, but you find a youth want to be a politician in a WhatsApp group. He has never gone to the ground. Some youths want jobs at maybe he's a lawyer. He wants to be a lawyer in a WhatsApp group or in a Twitter X space. You have to demonstrate that I have been to Milimani Law Court. You have been there, even on a pro bono services. You have to help someone. You have to stand with someone so that people can see the goodwill in you, so that we stand with you. So the country is heading towards the right direction. It is just that us as youths, what I feel is we have turned into a slumber. Like we are too relaxed. We are too relaxed. Things will come our way. Itajipa.
Really? Yeah. You think the young people are not working hard enough? That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah. Most of the young people.
Is it that they're not working hard enough or they don't have enough opportunities?
We have, you know, not that we don't have enough opportunities. All opportunities are competitive, Trevor. Even at your space right now where you are, it is very competitive. You have to wake up each and every day in the morning. But a young man, most of us, I'll tell you, if you give some of them jobs, I don't want to wake up Monday to Friday or a day to my payday. I don't want to wake up because I should be somewhere else. Some are nursing their hangovers, some are nursing their big pockets. So I think there is opportunities. It is just, let us come to the reality as young people. And that competitive little opportunities that we have, can we strive to make sure that we are within those dots?
Okay.
Yes.
We'll revisit that as well again at some point and hear what the rest of the team thinks. So let me bring in Troy on this. Troy, from the University of Nairobi's perspective as the president, what are the comrades saying? Is the country heading in the right direction or the wrong direction?
Thank you, Trevor. First and foremost, because Solomon here and Mokaya were wearing lenses. I think whether you have glasses or not, when something is bad, it is bad. There is no in between. So the country is not heading in the right direction. And I'd say our nation right now is what we call between promise and paralysis. Because if you are standing in between, we are leaning more towards paralysis than promise. Because there are a lot of things that are not working in this country. I'm going to speak on behalf of the students at the university, because their priority is education, basic education. This country is not prioritizing essential things. We dream of being Singapore, yet we don't prioritize things like education. We dream of being Singapore, yet we don't prioritize things like healthcare. Why should lecturers be on strike for 48 days? Students are out of school. And within that time, the institutions were not closed. There was nothing going on in school. But that is the system that you're even admitting those who are doing KCSE right now. That is the same system you want to admit them to. And the government is killing public institutions, because you find in situations like University of Nairobi, the government does not play its part. There is no that remittance towards public institution to cover for what they usually call the sponsorship for students. They do not pay it. And you find the same government, it reduces the fee institutions, but when it comes to paying their part, they do not pay it. And what does that lead to? We find most institutions are collapsing. Most of them are struggling. Most of them are falling down. There is no continuity within our universities. Any money that is brought in for research is used to pay debt. It is used to pay odious debts or used to pay things that were not supposed to be paid. It is supposed to be used for research. So in terms of priorities in matters such as education, this country is failing its youths, especially in higher education. Number two, we have things such as the loans that are usually granted. And right now there's a program that has been launched that is called Nyota, that has been properly funded. And during all that time that this funding is taking place, we are seeing students who are not in class at that time. But at the same time, we are launching programs to facilitate and enable people to create opportunities for themselves, those who are unemployed. So how do you intend to build a country that has a vision towards 2030 when the people at the university are not getting proper education? So in terms of education, the country is not heading in the right direction, because somehow in this country, there is money for everything else. If there's a crisis anywhere else, there's money for it. If there's a crisis anywhere else, it is solved in under 24 hours. But if it is education, then everybody is avoiding it. Nobody is addressing the matter. It has to go on, it has to stretch. And when we have a country like that, it is very sad to hear people saying that the country is going in the right direction. Which right direction is it going? And I want to ask, anybody who is in this panel should also tell us how they got their jobs, because if they're saying that we do not work hard to get their jobs, those who have jobs should tell us how did they get their jobs. Did they get the job through an opportunity created by government? Did they get the job by working hard? Or did they get their job through a connection somewhere? Because there are youths in this country who work. They work every day. They try to create those opportunities. But those charged with providing policies to protect our youths are not doing the right thing. Okay. We have policies that increase taxes. We have policies that ensure that there are times, in fact, what the lecturers were arguing about was a CBA that was signed when I was not even in campus at that time. It was not even something that concerns me. So there is not even an element of continuous leadership to show that the country is heading in the right direction. So, and even the youths who are at the ground level, those who are in school, those who are doing small businesses, there's a lot of complaints, even from private sector, that there's no cash flow even within the economy. Private sector is doing very badly. So whether you're wearing glasses or whether you're wearing goggles, the country is not heading in the right direction, Trevor.
Okay, let me hear what Mario has to say. Yes, Mario.
That's a very interesting take from everyone, especially Solomon saying here we have opportunities. Solomon, where are the opportunities?
He says opportunities are competitive.
Very competitive.
Everybody has to step up.
I'm wondering where those opportunities are. Anyway, Trevor, right now as a country, we're at a very critical turning point, be it socially, economically, or even politically. We have a government that, like my colleague here said, does not prioritize its youths. I'm a university student, currently in my final year. When I was in my third year, we had a lecturer's strike that went on for a very long time. If we had systems that are working, which currently clearly the systems are not working, the strike will not have reoccurred again, because if they signed an MOU last semester that they'll get back to work, money will be paid and all that, why did we have another strike this semester? And yes, they've signed the MOU, the two-phased and everything, but how sure are we, us coming back next year, we won't have the same problem? I won't say the country is headed in the right direction, far from it. We still need systems that work, we still need transparency, and we still need inclusivity as youths. Our politicians are just playing the youth cards for campaign, but in real sense, they're not creating opportunities. When we have something like, let's say, the Nyota Fund, like most of the people have mentioned, how sustainable is this Nyota Fund? We're looking for things that will create sustainability. How sustainable are the projects that the government is running? We have things like these houses that are being created and whatever. They say that it creates opportunities for the young people, but are they just putting us in a box that kila mtu aende mjengo basi? You get things like that, kila mtu afanye hivi. The country is not creating opportunities. We have a the youth currently are 75%, and the median age in Kenya is around 19.5 to 20, meaning that we still have a growing population of young people. If we keep on having systems that are actually not working, the population that is coming, the Gen Alpha, the youths, everyone, the young population that is coming, will still find the same problems if we create systems that do not work. So I still stand with, we need to create systems that work. Solomon here mentioned that we are not participating in politics. I'm very active politically, and I would like to vie. But as a young person, what are the barriers that hinders someone from actually vying? You find like the campaign money and all that, it's very costly. And if I'm unemployed or if I get like little salary, will I focus it on my family, you get things like my education and all that, or will I focus it on politics? We still need policies to be put in place, maybe things like policies for campaigns and all that, because life is still very expensive, especially for the young person, and it's even worse for the comrade. Because you imagine, like the school I am in, we had a memo released, I think it was a few days before the lecturer strike was called to an end. We were told to vacate the school within certain few days. Someone was already in Busia, then another memo is being released, you have to come back. In this economy, that even the mama mboga is not even getting the mbogas. You get the boda person is just promises, but there's no cash flow. This person has to come back from Busia to maybe Thika Road School somewhere there. You get, it's really tricky. If we have systems that work, things will get better. Okay. But at the moment, we don't have systems that work. So no, the country is not headed in the right direction.
So the systems don't work. Okay,
yes.
Let's take a quick break. We're back with that conversation in just a short while. And keep your views coming as well at Trevor Ombija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Citizen Daybreak. See you in just a bit.